Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and holy crap, we're playing Ark Survival Evolved. This is a game that people have asked me to play, it's a game that I've wanted to play, and it's a game that has turned into quite the phenomena. Selling over 1 million copies in just about a month after launch. The game has done really freaking well. I have to be completely honest, this was also the first game that I ever refunded using the Steam refund service. The first time I bought it, it was like 2 days after it launched, and the performance was so bad for me. It's still not great, to be honest, but it was so bad that I found it unplayable. What I've basically done is just, like turning the game from high to low doesn't even make a difference. That's where the performance issues with this game start. It feels very much like the same issues I saw with DayZ, but a lot of that had to do with the fact that I just didn't have a really ridiculous CPU. I have a really ridiculous CPU, I have a pretty good GPU, and this game just isn't all that well optimized. The team knows that. I can understand the issues that come from having such a large world with so many creatures in it, but I find it to be playable now. It's about 40 frames per second, maybe a little bit lower here and there. I turned off the sort of sky cover crap, but anyways, enough talk about that. I bought the game after refunding it. It was a game that I very much wanted to support the developers with. Is that a raptor? Go away, raptor. Go away. I see you. Okay, I don't think it's a raptor. It's something moving quick, though. It was a game that I very much wanted to support because I've seen so many interviews with the devs, and I've just seen the way that they communicate with the players, and I respect the way that they're kind of, you know, taking their success. They understand the responsibility, I think, of how well this game is sold in early access, and they understand, hey, this is something we need to finish. We need to continue to work on this, we need to improve it, and they're also very big on just listening to the community. Like, to them, it's a matter of, hey, these are the people that are playing our game. Why don't we hear what they have to say and, you know, take some of their suggestions and really take it to heart and, you know, filter what we can and use that to improve the game and the experience for them, and, you know, also the way that we develop the game for us. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to support them. I love supporting devs that are just doing things right, that are proving themselves to be, you know, to be honorable in the world of game development, I guess is the best way to say it. But enough talk about that. Let's talk about why I actually wanted to show you guys this game. I mean, basically, the way it works on the channel is I don't play things on the channel if I don't like them. If I think they're a game that doesn't deserve any sort of attention or praise, I'm not going to play it. Why would I want to give a bad game attention? That's just kind of not how I do things. And at first, I really thought to myself, Ark, it's just another survival game, right? Whatever, you know? Of course I'm going to give it a go. I can't ignore the fact that this game has sold over 1 million copies. There's got to be something going on here. And I think there's a lot of things going on with Ark. I think a lot of it, there's this weird sort of mysticism about the game, and I think Dinosaurs definitely have a big part in that, but I think there's a lot of other components to it as well. I mean, come on, I'm sitting on the, you know, side of a beach here of a small river, there's a turtle, there's a pterodactyl thing in the distance, I've got like a triceratops walking around in front of me, I've surrounded myself by friendly dinosaurs, or I should say neutral dinosaurs is the best way to put it. You know, I've just got done cooking some dodo meat on the fire. It's a spectacle. There's just a spectacle to this game, and it's glorious. I love it, man. It's just something really special about dinosaurs just being all around you. Not to mention other players. I am playing on a PvP server, and I do feel that that is a very important part of games like this. I'm not really a huge PvE guy when it comes to this, as you guys have seen me talk about with Epoch and other things. No real reason to actually be by this fire. Thank you, Anne, for allowing me to use your fire, not having to waste any of my stuff on it. Let's see right here. I'm in the middle of trying to craft some clothing for my character. You can see we've got some hand wraps, we've got a shirt. We definitely need some pants, so I'm gonna go gather some more fiber here. We're gonna kind of talk about the game as we go through it. I imagine a lot of you guys either know about Ark or you have no idea about it, so I will kind of explain a little bit of how the leveling system works, but I really do just want to talk about why I think so many things in this game work for me, and why I've also seemed to have found either a very special server, or the game isn't as KOS as people make it out to be. And I'd like to think that it is indeed the latter. You know, that this is a good server, but that there's a lot of incentive for people to not kill other people, to work together. And the game kind of has that hard-coded into it. There's a lot of reasons that you should work with other people, and I think there's a lot of psychological reasons why people choose to not just go around murdering everyone else. Alright, we've got that there. You can see we can start building some of the elements for our thatch house here. So we're gonna go ahead and, well, we need a foundation. We don't have enough fiber just yet for that, so we're gonna go grab some more fiber. But one of the things that this game does that I think is very intelligent is it actually has a sort of character persistence element to it. You know, a lot of survival games, you don't level, you don't have any sort of, you know, skill points or anything of that nature. Ark kind of takes the traditional crafting system, the idea of discovering recipes, and then mix it in with an actual leveling statistics system. So if we go ahead and open up our inventory here, through our crazy little Ark gem thing, you can see that I'm level 6. This is a character that has actually died several times, but I'm still level 6. When you die, you don't lose your level as long as you stay in that server. You also keep all of the stat bonuses that you put. So I put bonuses into stamina, into food, into fortitude, and into movement speed. So I maintain all of those no matter how many times my character dies, as long as I stay in the server. On top of that, every time you level up, you get engram points. Engram points are used to unlock recipes, which also stay intact. They go along with your level. So again, as long as you're staying on the same server, there's a lot of persistence. You know, it doesn't matter if you die, you're basically just losing supplies and materials, which can suck, I imagine. But considering how bountiful the resources on this giant islands, you know, whatever, actually are, it's not that difficult to just go grab some more fiber and some wood and kind of get things rolling again. Now, the leveling system works by time. Basically, just playing the game, you gain experience. You can also boost the amount of experience that you earn by crafting things as well as killing dinosaurs. The crafting system itself, very straightforward. You know, you have your recipes. It tells you exactly what you need. You can repair things, so you don't have to just make 50 pickaxes. You can basically just repair the pickaxe. It'll tell you exactly what you need to repair it. I love that. Now, a lot of the higher sort of endgame stuff, including, of course, taming dinosaurs for pets. There's another player over there. And as well as, you know, taming them so you can ride them, takes a lot of time. There is a lot of time sink element into this game. I mean, taming a dinosaur can often take 4+ hours. And I think it's a lot of that maintains this sort of friendliness amongst most players. Now, it's not like people won't go into war and there won't be sort of warring tribes, but I've noticed on this server especially, a lot of the tribes just like to work together. They understand the benefit that they can get from trading with one another, and that they can also get with teaming up to take down the Chinese. This is something that I've seen in the Steam reviews. There's a dodo, we're gonna go kill it. As well as, like I said, on the servers, apparently the Chinese are people who like to sort of hoard caves. Don't know why they call them the Chinese. Maybe they're actually Chinese people playing who just hacked the game or something like that. But there was 3 tribes on this server last night who were actually talking about a recent defeat. Give me that spear back. Where are you going, Dodo? You're supposed to die. There we go. I got my spear back. And the Dodo's gonna slide like 50 feet. Come here. Come here. Don't make me drag you. And they killed this band of these Chinese, as they called them, and reclaimed one of the caves. The caves are kind of like an ultra difficult, you know, rare to find location on the map that can have some really great loot, but also has some pretty insane monsters. And we got another level. So there's a lot of people working together, and there's a lot of incentive to do so with how much is required to actually build a lot of these really grand structures and to tame some of these higher level monsters like the T-Rex and so on and so forth. So working is definitely something that is encouraged by the game, by design. Let's see here. I'm looking to let's do more melee damage. Time to beef things up a little bit. So we've got 9 points to spend. Of course, you can tell that going like higher up in level, it's going to start to cost more engram points for each of these things. So we're going to start to learn less, it seems, as we go on. We can make consumables, but we need a mortar and pestle. We've got spark powder. I also need some mortar and pestle. I'm looking to get the slingshot, I think, because this is kind of going to be good for knocking people out. And you just kind of need stone to launch at people. But I'm trying to think what else, you know, is really vital here. We might want to use a hat. Maybe if we go with the slingshot and the hat, I think we'll do that. We could do a simple bed as well, but that also requires a sleeping bag. See, this acts as a permanent respawn point. The issue is, you know, if it gets destroyed, I mean, that's still kind of it. Your character stays alive when you leave the game. In the same way that Rust has sleepers, this game essentially has sleepers. So I'm just really not sure. I'm not sure that I'm a high enough level to worry about that yet. I'd rather get some more tools. So let's go with the slingshot, and let's go with the hat. Get ourselves some more gear and supplies here. Still can't do the pants, but we can do the hat, and we can do the slingshot. Let's do the hat. And then we'll grab a little bit more fiber so we can make that slingshot real quick. There we go. So you can craft on the move. It does slow down your movement speed quite a bit. You can also queue up a ton of stuff to craft all at once, which is nice. Let's give this thing a go. I'm interested to see how the slingshot works. Put it right in slot 5. You've got 34 stone. I can't see how that would knock out anything, but that's what the game's telling me. It's just, that's almost comical. It really almost is comical. Alright, I kind of want to move on. Let's go across. This looks really interesting across the way there. I like that sort of forest up on top of the hill there. Got some dinosaurs over in that way. We'll go check out and see what's kind of going on there. Just, I'm having fun kind of still exploring the game and taking things in stride. Note to self though, water. Water's a big component of the game. There are sharks in the water. There are piranhas. There are things that will kill you. So be very careful when you choose to cross a river. You should also be known that these guys are actually really easy to kill. Actually, you know, we could use some food. We should probably shank one of them. Oh, this is a bad time to get encumbered. Okay, so we're gonna hack this thing, and then we're gonna drop some wood real quick, because I know I have too much wood. Your stamina is really important in this game, I've found, to maintain it, because it's easy to just kind of sprint around everywhere and then realize you've sprinted yourself into a very bad situation and now you can't sprint out of it. Of course, your stamina also seems to be used when being attacked and when being engaged in combat. A big part for me was that I almost drowned with my first character because I hadn't realized that I was just gotten done, you know, kind of messing around. There's a raptor. Engaging with a raptor, actually, a small raptor. I managed to kill it, but I was really low on stamina, and I got attacked by these giant sort of flying bug things, right? So I just figured, okay, if I go in the water, they can't follow me. So I swam into the water, realizing that I was completely out of stamina. Now, when you're actually that low on stamina, your character can barely move, which means you can't keep your head above water, and I almost drowned because of that. So it was just intense, you know? It was unexpected and it was intense. This guy's got a campfire here. Let's cook up some of this food while we're here. You can see that's going to spoil in 9 minutes, so if I cook it, I do believe it resets the spoil timer. It still will eventually spoil, so you have to be careful, but I like to at least get that cooked. And you can see the sun's kind of going down. We've got a torch, though, so we're all right there. We've got a slingshot. Not sure what that's going to do for us at night, but we're all set to go. So this guy's just kind of got a nice little, like, 3-stage hut going on here. Actually seems like a weird set of torture chambers, but I don't know what his plan is actually. So some of the things that I haven't learned about Ark yet. Dinosaurs have levels, but I don't actually know what those levels mean because I've killed small dinosaurs that were high level, and I've, you know, been killed by larger dinosaurs that were lower levels. So there's a lot of different components to that. I basically look at it like, if it looks dangerous and it's bigger than you probably shouldn't screw with it. That's my theory thus far. While we're waiting for this meat to cook, I want to talk about one of the other theories I have, right? For why there seems to be like a lack of KOS, or, you know, at least why I think the game gives the players a lot of incentive to not kill each other, you know, to not just go around just murdering everyone. When did I craft those? Too busy talking to even realize what the hell I'm doing here. Do we make our boots yet? Not yet. Those require a lot more fiber. And a big part of that is, right, like I said, how long it takes you to actually obtain, like, these dinosaurs. So then when you actually have, like, a T-Rex mount, why would you want to risk, like, engaging even the smallest of people? Who knows? Maybe they could have an army behind them. You know, why bother? You have a T-Rex, man. I'm just gonna walk around and be like, hey, Fresh Spawn, check out my T-Rex, man. I mean, I think that sense of sort of, you know, this show of power, I think kind of maintains a balance between the really low-level people like myself and the people who are, you know, like super high-level with the T-Rex. So what do they need to bother with me for? You know, in a lot of other survival games, Ross Daisy included, there's this sick sort of mentality like, hey, Fresh Spawn, let's just kill him. Why? He has nothing. You've gained nothing from that. I don't understand what sort of enjoyment you've seeking out of that. It seems like it doesn't exist in this game that much, at least not on this server. I know people are going to tell me otherwise because they've engaged, or they've been engaged by people like that. And I think it would be very juvenile to say that there aren't people like that out there. I think I've just got a really great server. And I'm not leaving it anytime soon. That's for sure. Let's grab the rest of this food. Take our wood with us. Eat some berries before they go bad. Get some of our food and water back up. That's the nice thing about berries, is they do actually give you some water, so we gotta be careful because we can't really afford to head inland right now, because if we go anywhere where there isn't a source of water, there is a very good chance that we're just going to sort of starve to death, or we're gonna dehydrate, I should say. So I'm kind of gonna snake back down the coast here. What I really wanted to avoid by coming up here was that raptor that I saw in the distance, especially in the dark. There's just no chance of engaging anything with a spear in the dark. You need your torch up. It's just really freaking dark. No other way to put it. It's dark. Let's kind of run over here by this Triceratops. Seems to be another house over here as well. I'm actually very much a fan of the mechanic of, you know, I mean, it's definitely a difficult mechanic to accept. The idea that when you log out of the game, your character just stays there, and that anyone and anything can basically just slaughter and murder you. And you also look at the fact that if you decide you're just going to go away for a week, pretty much say goodbye to that character. I don't think there's much of a chance of that character, you know, being maintained. I really want to kill this dodo. Let's see if we got enough light to shank it. Am I missing it here? What's going on? Dodo! Where'd you go? There he is. Should have known he was gonna fly away. The amount of, like, materials that you seem to get out of creatures is slightly random. I imagine that each creature does have a limit and, you know, sort of a minimum for what you can actually obtain. Is there another dodo? There's another dodo. I'm sorry, dodo. There's a reason you went extinct, though. Alright. Should mine some of this rock. I'm looking to get... Actually, I don't think I can mine this rock. It seems to be invisible. Okay, I was gonna say, that's either a dodo or it's a raptor. I would actually like to get some more hide, and dodos are kind of good, like, low-tier hide harvesting components. Not bad, 8 hides out of one little dodo. Let's see what we can do out of that. I was gonna say, I know the shoes require a little bit of hides. The water sack that we can eventually make, that requires some hide. We're kind of good right now, though. We're kind of, like, you know, well set up. I definitely need to get more fiber, though. I need to do some fiber farming here. I would say, though, that this is definitely a game that, you know, at least you have that level of persistence when you level. I think that kind of eliminates the whole thought process of, like, you need to play this game every single day if you want to have any chance of doing anything. I do think that if you don't play it often, it's going to take you a long time. So if you're somebody who's playing other games at the moment, I can't see that you're going to be able to just kind of throw this into your, I'll just play this every once in a while. You know, it wouldn't make sense to do that. It is a game that you have to be active in. And people look at that as a negative, but that's kind of what people who are playing a game like this are looking for. They don't want to play anything else. They're looking to play Ark. This is their game for the next couple, you know, months or however long. You know, it's a very similar thing I did with Minecraft. I did with DayZ. Like, that was what I played in my free time. I didn't touch anything else. I personally am not looking to do that. I'm really busy with Star Wars right now in my free time, as well as, you know, obviously stuff for the channel. But I wanted to check this game out. I wanted to just talk a little bit about it and showcase, you know, the smaller components of it. Sadly, I, you know, can't show you a lot of the cool stuff, riding the dinosaurs and things like that. There's stuff like that all over the internet. I really just wanted to give you guys my opinion and my thoughts on why this game has sold so well. And it is very much a, you know, sort of, I like to use the word, I want to use the word spectacle here, because there is a sort of spectacle to this game. And I know I'm using the wrong word in the wrong context, but I think you get what I'm saying. Oh, is this guy got a T-Rex hiding in here? It's got a mixture of stone and wood. Does look like that wood wall's actually been attacked pretty harshly. And I'm sure there's a lot more that can be said about this game. Like I said, there's a lot more that can be showcased, but that's kind of my thoughts for the game. It's why I'm actually happy that I purchased it, you know, that I grabbed it again after refunding it. And you know, it's one of those early access titles. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I think it's already grown a lot since its original launch. They've improved, you know, the performance a lot. Hopefully they continue to work on that and really get this nailed out. It is using a heavily modified version of the Unreal Engine 4, so I don't see any reason that this game shouldn't be able to, you know, just run so much better. But they're doing mod support, which is awesome. They already have mod support in the game. There's already some mods that you can download. So there's just a lot of good reasons, you know, for this game to exist and to have been successful. It definitely deserves its success. It was not unfounded. I don't think it's a game that was sort of riding the, you know, survival hype train. Don't get me wrong. Survival games are in right now. That's the most adept in it. But you can't just release a BS survival game and expect it to sell anywhere nearly as well as this game did. And of course, the coinciding release with Jurassic World was no mistake. It's something the team was looking to actually do. Very, very smart marketing move on their part, and I think it has done them well. But that's been a small look at Ark Survival, sort of my thoughts on it. This game has a lot hidden in it. There's a lot of lore hidden within the game, a lot of reasons for these towers that players are trying to discover. There's a lot of components to this game that I think make it special and that make it worth spending a lot of time in. So if you're someone who was a big fan of things like Minecraft and DayZ and Rust and, you know, these persistent type survival crafting experiences, I think you owe it to yourself to check out Ark. Consider your system specs though, because I imagine on a low-end PC you're going to have a lot of trouble running this game. Maybe just keep an eye on the game and see what kind of improvements you hear about from players as well as from the developers and kind of go from there. If you have any other questions for me regarding anything I've said in the video or anything else, as always, leave them down in the comment section below. I'm gonna go find some place to pass out and hopefully stay alive for a couple days while I kind of step away from this game. And I'll see you in the next one. Freaking dodos.